All right, number 18. So take the fractions less than 5/8. So my trick personally is to firstly make everything have a common denominator, at least of 8 or some multiple 8. So let's check out all these numbers, yeah? This is 1 over 2. How can we make this over 8? Okay, well, we can just probably times this entire fraction up and down by 4. So timesing half by 4 up and down, you're basically going to get 4 over 8. Well, that's not less than 5. That's definitely less than 5 over 8. So we tick that. Now, how about 2 over 8? Well, of course, that's 2 is less than 5. So, yep, tick that as well. How about 3/4? Well, we can double this to make it over 8. So it'll be 6 over 8. And answer is nope. Can't be that. 7 over 16. 16 is bigger than 8. So we will have to double 5 over 8 instead to make it 10 over 16. So yes, this is another one. And how about this one? 24 over 32. Well, this is over 32. This is over 16. If we double this one, we're going to get 20 out of 32. And 24 is not less, so nope. So yeah, actually, it's 3 different answers. And that's it, guys. Alright, number 19. So Layla makes jewelry to sell at school fair. Cool. Each bracelet has 53 beads. She makes 68 bracelets. Alright, so keep this in mind, yeah. Every bracelet, there's 53 beads. So far, there's 68 of them. So look, we're looking at 68 times 53 so far. Each necklace has 105 beads. Oh man. Okay, and she makes 34 necklaces. So this is another pair. So this is 34 times 105. Don't say which is bigger. Whew. How many beads does Ilayla use altogether? Oh, thank God. So you're just adding them. Right. So we just have to basically deal with this multiplication then, guys. So let's do the top one first, yeah? So we're going to have 68 times 53. All right, so I'm going to times 68 by 3 first, yeah? So you got, and let me change the color pen. So 3 times 8 is 24, so 4 carry the 2. And then we got 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20. All right, so what I usually do, when you guys do one sum, just cross them out and just cross out this 3, yeah? So you don't mix it up. Now, when you move on to the tens unit, we always stick a 0, because this is like saying 50 times 68. So it's going to have an automatic 0. Now, timesing 5 to both these digits, 5 times 8 is 40, so 0 carry the 4. And you got 5 times 6, which is 30, plus 4, 34. Alright, now what I would do is just add these up quickly. So you got 4 plus nothing is 4, so we put a plus there. 0 plus 0 is 0, and then 2 plus 34 is 36. Alright, so that checks out. Now, let's do the other one, yeah? So I think I'm going to move it to the right bit, yeah? Because I want to do the working out more on that side. So let's do 34 times 105. Oh man, that's a big number. So let's see. Oh, there's a nice trick here actually for this one. You can just times 34 by 100 and times it by 5. So we know that 34 times 100, well, just add 2 zeros, 3,400. And then 34 times 5. I'm going to just do that the classic way, yeah? And then add it up. So you got 5 times 4 is 20, 0 carry the 2. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. And then add it here. You're now going to have a total of 0 plus 0 is 0, 7, 5, and 3. Now finally, if you remember, the question says how many beads does Layla use altogether? In other words, let's add them all up here. So we're going to have 3,604 from the first bit, from the bracelet, plus the necklace one, which is 3,570. 4 plus nothing is 4, nothing plus 7 is 7, 6 plus 5 is 11, and adding these 3 digits, you get 7. Voila, that's the end of this one. So Adam is making booklets. All right, so here's our booklets. Now each of these booklets must have 34 sheets of paper. So in other words, there must be 34 pages in each booklet. Now he has 2 packets of paper, and there they are. There are 500 sheets of paper in each packet, so meaning altogether, so 500 plus 500, there must be 1,000, right? So let's put them both 500s. How many complete booklets can Adam make from these 2 packets of paper? Okay, so given that he's got 1,000, yes, so the question is, how many times is 34 going to 1,000? So in other words, 1,000 divided by 34. Now let's simplify this easier. So there's a trick that I usually do instead of using long division. You can just change this to a fraction, right? Let's try and cancel down this fraction as much as we can. And something tells me it won't go too far down. So we look at both numbers. They're both even. So we can cancel by 2. So dividing by 2, well, half of 1,000 is 500. Half of 34 is 17. Now, can you cancel? No, you can't, because 17 is a prime number. So this means you got to do long division now, guys. So 17 into 500. But to be honest, it makes it easier than dividing by 34. Now, looking at this carefully, we ask ourselves, how many times is 17 going to 5? Well, you can't. How many times is 17 going to 50? Well, let's just check our 17 times tables, yeah? So you've got 17 times 1, and then double it, you get 34. That's 17 times 2. Add another 17, you get 51. So it looks to me it actually fits 2 times, but almost 3. So it's actually 2 times. But then it has a remainder of, well, 50 take with 34 is 16. Oh, okay. This is a big number. So how many times does 17 fit into 160? Well, I can make a rough guess. You know 17 times 10? That gives you 170. And this seems to be just before it. So let's see what 17 times 9 is, yeah? Instead of just counting all the way. So 17 times 9. 7 times 9 is 63. So 3 carried is 6. 1 times 9 is 9. Add 6 is 153. Alright, so you can see it fits 9 times. But then you have a remainder of, what is it? 7. So remainder 7. Now the question asks us, how many complete books can Adam make from 2 packets? Well, complete wise, he'll have 29 complete books, but then you have 7 extra pieces of paper left over. So in this case, the answer would be just 29 complete books. And that's it. Alright, 21. So ABDE is a rectangle on coordinate axes. Okay, so XY axes. The sides of the rectangle are parallel to the axes. Alright, perfect. Now we're given a bunch of points and we're given 2 known coordinates, one at A and even one at C, even though they don't talk about C. Okay. So point C is the center of the rectangle. Alright, this is very important, guys, yeah? When something is the center, it means you can actually, it's pretty much the midpoint of both of this. So you can kind of draw a dotted line across. So it's halfway between A and B and halfway between A and E and basically halfway everywhere. So just think of this as a halfway point, yeah? What are the coordinates of B and D? Well, check it out, yeah? Let's look at the x-axis. And remember, the x-axis is on the right side. So it's always x then y. So the first digit represents the x-coordinate. The second digits represent the y-coordinate. Now, to figure out what B is, well, we know the x-coordinate of A is 25. The x-coordinate of C is 40. And to work out, well, B and D, we just need to work out the difference between 25 and 40. Well, we can see that they went up by 15. So this means that since it's directly in the middle, this must have also gone up by 15. So 40 plus 15 is 55. So we know the x-coordinate of B and D, actually both of them, is 55. Now, how about the y-coordinates, yeah? Well, the y-coordinates is the second digit. So let's look at 30 and 22 for a second, yeah? So drawing a dotted line here, this is 30. The midpoint here is apparently 22. And we're trying to work out D, yeah? And so let's have a look. It's going down here by 8, yeah? Meaning it's going to also go down by 8. So 22 take away 8. Let's see. So that should give us, oh my god, my mental maths. This should give us 14. So the y-coordinate of D is 14, but the y-coordinate of B is 30. So 30 and 14. So for B is 30 and for D is 14. Yep, and that's it. And that should grab you 2 marks. Alright, 22. So we're given 6 identical right angle triangles to make a rectangle. Okay, so let's have a look. So you can kind of see you got one right angle triangle there. And then we got another one below it. So it looks to me we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6. Alright, cool. Looks good to me. Now calculate the length of the rectangle. Ooh, so you're trying to find this unknown one here, right? So let's just have a look at this carefully, yeah? Now what I'll do here, I would like to kind of give these names, yeah? Let's call the short length X and the long length Y, yeah? So let's see. You got one short length here and another one here, so that's another X. You got a long length here, which is Y. Short length X. You got another long length here, which is Y. Okay. Alright, actually it's not so bad. If you look at both sides, we can kind of ultimately find out what the values are. You got 2x, which equals y. So you got this whole 7, which equals the long length. So this must be a 7. And you know, since these two are the same length, half of 7 is one of them, which is 3.5. Meaning this short length is 3.5. So 7 plus 3.5, or if you're not sure how to do it, is 7.0 plus 3.5. Doing the usual way, you get 5 here and you get 10. So it's 10.5. And here we go, guys, the final question. Let's do this. So we're given some sort of distance here from P to Q to R, yeah? The whole thing's 800 meters. Now the distance from P to R is 800 meters, okay? So that's the whole thing. Now the distance from P to Q is 4 times the distance from Q to R. In other words, if this was 4 parts long, then this must be 1 part. This tells us that the whole thing is out of 5 parts, yeah? Olivia says it is 600 meters from point P to Q. So from here to here, 600. Explain why Olivia is not correct. Okay, before we explain it, let's do some maths, yeah? So since we know the whole thing's out of 5 parts, this means that to work out the distance from Q to R, we need to divide 800 by 5. If we do that, you should get 160. So the first thing we can say is this. Let's see, the distance, hold on guys. The distance between Q to R is 800 divided by 5 parts, which gives us 160 meters. Therefore, the actual distance between P to Q must be 800 minus 160, which should give us, by the way guys, 640 meters. And yeah, so therefore she is wrong. So Olivia is not correct. Yep, that's it. I think that's the best we can say.